Hello, my name is Chef Nickerson. I'm an instructor in the Culinary Arts and Related Sciences program at El Paso Community College. I'm here with one of our students, Mr. Ezekiel Lambriz. He is in his final semester in the program and will be graduating this May. And we will be demoing making Eggs Benedict today. Okay, so with an Eggs Benedict, our ingredients for that is we have our English muffin. We have Canadian bacon. Canadian bacon is pork loin that's been brined and then smoked. And then we'll be topping it with poached eggs and a hollandaise sauce. So the first part is we're going to demo how to make the hollandaise sauce, and then we'll go ahead and complete the dish after that point in time. So you start out first, you have your egg yolks for your hollandaise. So your hollandaise is made from your egg yolks that we're going to heat up over a bain-marie. And a bain-marie is a pot of boiling water. And then you're going to set the bowl of egg yolks over top of that, and you're just going to start whisking it together. So you don't want to use your whole eggs because the egg whites, they cook at a different temperature, and they're going to coagulate sooner. And we're going to be emulsifying into this egg yolk mixture clarified butter. So you can use regular melted down butter if you want to. However, clarified butter is more the traditional method for that. Ezekiel, can you get the clarified butter, just ladle it into one of those? So the reason why we're doing this over a bain-marie, and again a bain-marie is the pot of boiling water, is that water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. And so we know the steam coming off is at a lower temperature. And if we did this directly over a fire, our eggs would cook too fast. So even at this speed right here, this water is boiling rapidly, we can turn it down a little bit because we want to slowly bring up the temperature of the egg yolks before we start emulsifying the clarified butter into that. If you are doing this at home, you can't do this with a glass bowl. You can't use a stainless steel bowl with the rubber at the bottom of it to keep it from sliding around the table. Those are good for some applications, but for this, you need to have the stainless steel bottom of the bowl in order for it to conduct the heat from the boiling water on that. So you'll see the egg yolk is going to start to change color. It'll turn more of a pale yellow color, and that's what we're looking for. So you don't want to eat raw egg yolks, which is why we need to pasteurize them or cook them this way first. So we'll start mixing it together like this. If it starts to get too hot, just move it off heat. Just have a towel set up right next to where you're working on this in order to bring the temperature down, and you can just move back and forth between it. And as you can see here, the eggs are starting to get a lot thicker. So it's starting to get a lot thicker with this. And at this point, we can start working in our clarified butter. So Mr. Lambriz is going to take our clarified butter, and he's going to slowly start pouring it, drizzling it into one section of it there. So go ahead and stop a little bit. So you want to do that in a slow stream and whisk this in. So we're emulsifying the clarified butter into this. It'll start getting a little bit thicker. Go ahead and add some more. You can do this on your own, but it's a little bit easier to do this if you have some partner helping you. So go ahead and stop. Thank you, sir. And if you see it, it starts to get a little bit too thick like this. So this is getting very thick here. Now your hollandaise is going to break under 4 conditions. If it's either too hot, too cold, too thick, or too thin. So right now it's starting to get really thick. So what we want to do is we'll add a little bit of just regular tap water to it, and that's going to help thin it out. So we get that to it. It starts to thin out our hollandaise. We'll get back on the heat, whisking it together. Move it off. Can you add a little more water to that, please? Because we want to add, that's good, man, that's good. Because you can see he added the water there, and that made it a lot thinner. Okay, so now it's getting too thin, and so we need to start thickening it up more. So the emulsification of the egg yolks and the clarified butter is what's going to make the hollandaise a thicker sauce. So keep adding it in there. You just keep whisking it. You want to pour it in a steady stream right into where you're whisking it. And you want to have a uniform texture in the end for your hollandaise. So we'll keep moving this back on top of our heat here, on top of our bain-marie. And we'll keep whisking that in order to bring up the temperature. So we're going to work this more, get this a little bit thicker. You can add some more butter, man. And we started out with 8 egg yolks, and you could add anywhere from 8 ounces to 12 ounces of clarified butter to that, just depending on how rich you want your sauce to be. And this is a very, very rich sauce. And it's designed that way in order to coat our poached eggs at the very end when we're doing this. So you can see as he's adding it, it is starting to get a lot thicker. So we started out, we had that thinner sauce, and we want to add more of our clarified butter into it, and the sauce is starting to get a lot thicker now. Okay, so that's good, man. So we're setting that on here. We have our sauces starting to get thick, and we want to start adding our seasoning to this. So traditionally, you're going to have just your salt and pepper, just regular seasoning that you use. Whisk that in. In holidays, you add either cayenne pepper or Tabasco. That's kind of your preference to it. I always use cayenne pepper because that's just my personal preference to it. We're going to have it on here. We're going to whisk it to keep our hollandaise sauce hot. If you just set it like this, what's going to happen is the bottom of the pot's going to get too hot, your egg yolks are going to curdle, and your sauce is going to break. So you need to keep the whisking going with that. And as you can see with this too, it's starting to get a lot thicker again. And because we have such a rich sauce, it's pretty much, you could almost compare it to a hot mayonnaise, but that's not entirely accurate. But it's going to be rich like that. So in order to cut through that richness, we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice to it. So you want to add fresh squeezed lemon juice to it. And you're going to add that to it. And that will also, one, is going to add the acid. It'll help cut through the thickness of the sauce. But it's also going to help thin it out a little bit too. So we have our sauce that's getting pretty thick and very rich from all the butter and egg yolks in it. We'll add our lemon juice into it in order to thin out our sauce. This is how we're getting our hollandaise going. Let's go ahead and try it out, man. Tell me if you think it's good. If we need to add anything else to it. Does it need more salt and pepper? More salt and pepper? Okay, so go ahead and add some more in there. And you also want to taste it too as you go. That's just how you start developing your palate. You want to taste your product, see if you need to add any extra salt and pepper, any more lemon juice to it. And also with this too, you can check the temperature as well and see if it's getting too cold or too hot. So does it taste cool or hot? Or warm? Warm? Okay. So if it's warm, we're in a good range. You just don't want it to be too hot because it'll start to break. So at this point, we do have it at a good texture, and we're kind of ready to get the rest of our plate started. So the next thing we're going to do is Mr. Alvarez is going to add some clarified butter. You can use that one there. Into our comal here. And this is for toasting our... First, we're going to toast our English muffin. And the next thing we're going to do is then do our Canadian bacon. So we want to get that set in there. You can do that in a regular toaster, but it's just going to taste better if you toast it in the comal with butter. So he's going to get that on there first and transfer it to the plate after we get that side toasted. And we'll just keep our hollandaise temperature regulated in the meantime. So our sauce is still a little thick while we're getting that toasted. So add a little more lemon juice to it. And we'll add a little more salt, a little more pepper, and then a pinch of cayenne. So with cayenne, there are ranges of spiciness that people have more of a tolerance for. But still, there's going to be a point where you have too much cayenne. You want to be able to see the flecks in there, but you don't want it to be so thick or so little that you don't get any of that flavor at all. So we're still going to add some of this in there. So just check out our English muffins to see how they're doing. Okay, almost there with that. And then after that, we're just going to add our Canadian bacon in there in order to set up on top of our English muffin. So we're just holding our hollandaise sauce and getting our texture where we want it for our finished plate up. And after you make a hollandaise, one fact about it is you can only hold it for 2 hours. Because you have to hold it in what's called the danger zone, which is in between 41 degrees and 135 degrees. And you can't hold any food product in there for an extended period of time. So that's why you don't want to leave food out on the counter while it's thawing over the course of the day. But if you have hollandaise too hot, it's going to break. So you're not going to be able to hold it for very long. So you pretty much want to use it right away. So you can go ahead and set them on there. Add a little more clarified butter, please. And then just go ahead and toast up 2 of the pieces of our Canadian bacon. So when you're adding something into a pan, one part about it that you want to do is you don't want to just drop it in there. And it's going to be a natural reaction. A lot of people want to lay it in this way. And what you're doing is allowing the hot oil to splash towards you. So always just take your pan, tilt it away from you a little bit, and then set it in going the other direction. So if it does splash, it splashes away from you. So you don't end up with those burn marks on your wrists. So we're just getting that toasted on both sides, and we'll set that on top of our English muffin here. After we get that on the English muffin, then we're going to be ready to poach our eggs. So we have our hollandaise sauce is doing well. We'll just set it there to hold it. In the meantime, we're going to use our same water from our bain-marie. We're going to bring that up to like a rollicking boil. We'll add a little bit of salt to the water for our egg poaching and a little bit of either white distilled vinegar, white wine vinegar, champagne vinegar. That's just going to help the eggs coagulate when we drop them in there to do that. So we can keep our hollandaise held while we're finishing out getting our thing together. You ready for the plate? Okay. So you set one on top of each one. So we have our plate ready here. We'll move this over and then we're just ready to start poaching our eggs. So you want it to be at just a heavy boil when you go to do your eggs, okay? So the first part of that is you'll take your egg and you want to do 2 eggs, 1 for each side, and just crack it. Don't crack it on the pan like this because you can start getting eggshell into the water. So just crack it on the side and you're going to take it and drop it in the water. You don't want to do it from a height like up here because the egg yolk is just going to hit it and it'll break. And the goal when you're poaching eggs is you want the whites to congeal and the yolk to still be runny. So you do want to do it close to where the water level is. It's going to be hot when you go in. You also don't want to have your water level too high. If you had it up to here, you drop the egg in, it's going to slowly sink and a lot of the egg white is going to trail off it and you don't get that into your poached egg. So we're going to crack our egg open and just drop it in there gently. We'll get our second one and just drop that also in there gently too. So we have that, and after it goes in there, you do want to turn it down. You want to start at a high temperature so it starts to congeal, but you don't want it to be so hot that it just like boils the egg. We're looking to soft poach them. So we'll just bring our hollandaise temperature back up so we have that set up there. And can you get rid of that because we're done with that, please? Thank you, sir. So we'll turn down our temperature a little more. And you want to use a slotted spoon for this. You want to be able to pick out the egg without it breaking. So you're going to have, inevitably, you're going to have some of the egg white that's going to trail off. We have them set up in here. And even while it's in here too, at this point you can start moving them around. So we have our egg like this. Okay, that is not ready yet. You can still, the whites still look clear and opaque or translucent. So you want to get that back in there. But you can't flip it over because the bottom is still going to be hotter than the top of the water. So we can flip our eggs over. We can take our excess whites and we can get those set up. That'll work. We can get those just out of the way here because we don't want that on our finished plate. And we are almost ready to go. So that is closer to what you're looking for. You can still see if you touch the egg yolk, it's still going to be soft, but our white is clear on the bottom. It'll still have some jiggle to it. And we'll set that just directly on top of our Canadian bacon like that. And same thing with our second egg as well. If you have any extra white like this that's coming off, you can pull it off or just use the side of the pot if you want to, but you don't want that on your finished plate. And you'll set that one on the next piece of Canadian bacon there, so you have it set up like that. And then the last part is just take your sauce, give it one stir, and it should be a nice coating over top of it, referred to as nappe. So just take it and just go right over top of each of your egg yolks. And that is it at the end for your classic Eggs Benedict dish. For the students that are going to enter the workforce in either the El Paso or Juarez area, some of our students have gone as far as Alaska, California, or Orlando to work in Disney and other major food service operations upon completing their associate's degree in the Culinary Arts and Related Sciences program. If you visit one of the culinary department's outlets, be it the Dine & Dash Cafe, 1309 restaurant, or one of the catered events, you are not only supporting the students in the program with gaining the valuable experience they need in order to complete their degree program, but also supporting the Student Culinary Services program through the funds that they are generating. All the gratuity from either the restaurant or the Dine & Dash Cafe goes towards a Culinary Arts Student Scholarship Fund. The Culinary Arts Scholarship Fund was set up initially by now Dean Webb. It was voted on by the Culinary Club as a way to utilize the tips that are generated through the program. This fund is now endowed and does offer scholarships to the culinary arts student. If you do leave gratuity, you are supporting students as they work towards completing their degree in the culinary arts program. And right now I am in front of the Dine and Dash Market that is located in the ASCB building. That's in the Administrative Services building that are located off of Viscount, right behind the Fountains of Farah. And the Dine and Dash Cafe offers an opportunity for our students to sell a lot of the product that they are producing in the lab. So the goal in our labs is for students to acquire the skills to produce and make products in the program, whether it be savory, culinary items, or sweet pastry items, and also put together the finished product that you would sell to the general public and make for the guests after it's gone through an evaluation process. So the cafe that we have here is currently open Monday through Thursday from 10 to 2:30, and that is in the spring 2023. And in the case here is what we use in order to feature a lot of the pastry items that are produced in the labs. So we do have a variety of pies, cupcakes, we do have various cookies, breads, quick breads, laminated doughs. We also have other items having to do with protein bowls, where we have quinoa with other fresh vegetables, salads, and then we also feature soups, a lunch special, and also sandwiches in the back area. The Dine and Dash Cafe in the Culinary Arts Department is staffed by students who are completing their practicum or their work experience hours as part of their practicum course. With their work experience hours, it's essentially like an internship. They're able to gain the valuable work skills and experience before they complete their degree of study and go out and get jobs in the El Paso community. So the students are able to take a lot of the product and the skills that they utilize in the classroom and transition that into a cafe experience in order to provide services to the staff at the ASC, but also just the general public at large. Anybody can come here from off of Viscount or from the Fountains area. With the setup that we have in the back, so we do one or two lunch specials every day, and then we also have a variety of sandwiches that are done off the panini press in the back area. Okay, with the panini grill in the back, we do offer a variety of sandwiches. Our staples currently in the Dine and Dash Cafe consisted of a Southwest chicken sandwich, and that's made from a chipotle bread, chicken breast, green chili, bacon, cheese, and chipotle mayo. All that product is made in-house, so we do have pastry classes making the chipotle bread. Also, the SCS staff will make it as well. We do cook the chicken in-house. We do get raw pork belly in, cure it, and smoke it to make the bacon for the product, along with roasting the green chili. So that sandwich is assembled and put together, and then it's pressed down on the panini press back there. We also do a Cubano sandwich that's made from white bread with also mustard, smoked pork loin, shredded pork, and pickles. And that sandwich, everything is also made in-house for that as well. We do make the mustard in-house, the white bread, we do make the smoked pork loin, and also doing the shredded pork and the pickles for that sandwich. And that's also assembled and then put together on the panini press for sale. All of our sandwiches are served with lettuce, tomato, onion, and also house-made chips that have a chile limon seasoning on them. Within the pastry program in the Culinary Arts Department at El Paso Community College, we do have a variety of production courses where the students completing their Associates of Applied Science in the pastry program are able to take a lot of the skills and a lot of the theory they learn in their basics classes and then apply it on a production scale. So the students start out with basic pastry, then they will move on and take classes on breads and rolls, laminated doughs, pies, tarts, tea cakes, and cookies, Mexican breads and rolls. But then they transition into taking production classes. So behind me right now is a class called Bakery Operations, where the purpose of it is to run it like a bakery out in the real world. So the students get the experience of what it would be like to go into work, to work in a bakery. They have a production list, they have their items, they have their PARs, or the amounts of baked goods that they need to have on hand, and then they come up with their production list and they produce that product. And a lot of that product that we use in the class behind me is what we sell in the Dine and Dash Cafe. So they'll take just a variety of the cookies, the breads. So they'll work on the fundamental pastry skills that they utilize in order to prepare for their practicum course. They'll make rich doughs, lean doughs, crispy cookies, soft cookies, pâte à choux, laminated doughs, and tarts as well, in order to prepare them and provide them with the broadest possible range of experiences and the broadest possible skill set for when they complete their program and enter into the workforce upon graduation. So within the Culinary Arts and Related Sciences program, we have three different degree plans that students could go into. We have a chef program, a pastry program, and we have a restaurant management program. In each of those programs, all of the students start out with the three basic courses. They start out with Basic Chef, Basic Pastry, and Safety and Sanitation. After that point in time, the students will branch out and go into their specific degree pathway. Where in the Culinary Arts, they will take classes having to do with American regional cuisine, international cuisine, saucier, garde-manger, which is also the cold kitchen, where they're going to make terrines, pâtés, sausages, smoking food, preserving food, along with taking the three restaurant courses that they have in here. In the pastry courses, they will continue on after their first semester into taking pie starts, tea cakes, and cookies. They will do plated desserts, breads and rolls, laminated doughs, Mexican breads and pastries, and then get into their production courses as well. Like they'll have bakery operations and quantity bake shop within their program. The restaurant management program, they focus more on front of the house and restaurant management operations, and they take courses involving dining room service, catering. They do a viticulture and enology class, which is the study of growing grapes and making wine. Outside in the program, we do have grapevines where that class will harvest the grapes and produce wine, just to get the full process involved with that. They also have a food and wine pairing class where they will be trying a variety of wines, evaluating the wines, and talking about what kind of foods to best pair the wines with. The restaurant management courses are paired with the restaurant courses, so a lot of the students working in the front of the house are in the restaurant management program, where they are practicing the skills that they are learning in the classroom as far as doing front of the house service and working with the wine list that they have in 1309. If you do attend 1309 and you come in as a guest, you are supporting all of the students in the Culinary Arts and Related Sciences program, regardless of which degree plan that they are in. So while the class is specific for the Culinary Arts program students, it is also coupled with restaurant management students, and a lot of the pastry applications from those courses are also applied into the restaurant setting as well. So thank you for your continued support of the Culinary Arts program. If you are looking for reservations for the 1309 restaurant, the phone number is 915-831-1309. You can call. The students will return your call to make reservations for the restaurant during whichever semester you're in, summer, fall, or spring. The reservations do typically fill up fast, so when we do send out the menu for the semester, just be prepared to call and just try to make the reservations and get ahead of those. While we do accept walk-ins, it is very rare that we have enough space within the reservation list to accommodate walk-ins for the restaurant. Thank you for viewing the program today, and we look forward to seeing you throughout the course of the spring 2023 semester.